Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Aaron Rivera, director, and announcer for ProView Networks. He's everywhere. Anyway, what a great spring events this last week.
Yeah, glad to be on here, Steven. I mean, what a way to finish out the season here. It's always a busy weekend, baseball, softball, track, all going on at the same time. And, great events. We saw a lot of fun games in there. We saw a lot of state records on the track side, so glad to be getting into it.
Well, let's speak on the track side because, you were around, and it's always something like a lot of records were broken. One of the best track meet records weekend.
Oh yeah, so it was the single A through 3A. That first day we had a few state records, so there was a lot of big events then. But on the second day, the championship Saturday, there was 24 track records alone. So that doesn't count pole vault, high jump, long jump, anything like that. There was 24 on just the track side, and it was. We started out on this run of the day because you start out with some of the relays first thing in the morning, and single A girls hit the record, double A girls hit the record, triple A girls hit the record, then single A boys, then triple A boys. Like we were on this run first thing in the morning where every single event that we saw, it's just, oh, that's another record. Oh, hey, look, there's another record. And just everybody was just torching through on that A3A side. Ton of records on that. It was a lot of fun, and we get to see some of the schools from competing a little bit, because before we had Hayden Judd for Logan just dominating every event, so things kind of opened up a little bit on the single A side for the boys. An opportunity for other people, but then also his younger sister McKinley Judd comes in on the girls' side and says, "Hey, there's another Judd here. Don't forget."
Well, I tell you, and then Cleveland wins the championship, and the Henry legend name. When I kind of educated you on that before the show. And you think of the Henry name, Kenny Henry, and then you think of his dad and his uncles and what they've done for the state. You got Matt and Mark. Then they coached at UNM as far as track coaching, and their uncle was won at LSU and also won at Texas A&M the national championships.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of funny because the way that we talk about Kenny Henry in the state, right? It's been 13 titles at Cleveland, including 10 in a row with this victory. So that's ridiculous and unprecedented. 2 with Cibola back when I was there. Go Cougs. But, his uncle, Pat, is one of the most dominant NCAA track coaches outdoor of all time. And it's like that family just seems to know how to coach track. Unbelievable.
And it's just, and even I was telling you, and what's so great is Matt still goes to all the functions at Cleveland. He'll come to the basketball games, he'll be at a football game, and he's still very active. But to see Kenny, I'm getting older as a deal, but back in 1998, it was basically he was a graduate of La Cueva High School, and I started following his career and watched him develop. But to see what he's done is he just stepped in the shoes of his family.
Yeah, and you mentioned his career at La Cueva, 2-time track champion as a player at La Cueva on top of his cross country championships. So it's like we look at with a lot of those other sports, like you go to Hope Christian girls soccer, Coach Fankum won 4 as a player. Now she's won something like 6 or 7 as a coach. Coach Henry for Cleveland's one of those coaches where it's just, that championship pedigree, that ability to just win is definitely there. That Cleveland team, it's really impressive that they won, because when you look across the heat sheets for that, it wasn't a year where the Cleveland boys had the champion in every single category, right? You did have Morgan James on the girls' side, their hurdles champion. They did have the winner in the boys' hurdles as well, but they weren't going in there winning every single race. But every single race you look, and there's second, third, a Cleveland kid somewhere right there. And then, of course, in the field events as well, being pretty dominant there. And speaking of field events, we saw that really impressive pole vaulting from the kid from Mayfield. Ended up going for a state record there. Had 3 attempts. He got really close, but I think on his last one he didn't get quite far enough to get over the pole, but he had the height for most of those.
Well, and most of all, good weather, because we didn't have any cameras fly off the roof or anything like that. So I always kind of worry about, what got destroyed during the week.
Yeah. No, that was the nice part. It was beautiful. I mean, obviously, I'm sitting there inside of in a box the whole time. We had a couple of big gusts, and that's what made it possible to have all these state records too, right? Because when you have all that wind, it makes life a little difficult for the athletes to be able to run through and really get those big numbers. But it was I would say a really great overall event. Thanks to Gary Chavez and JP and everybody, Jackie at NMAA, who all made that possible. Made all the officials and everything, because it went really smooth. Especially, there was a day where we had a bunch of false starts on the A3A side, but for 4-5A. We had maybe 2 false starts. We didn't really have any issues on the field overall, so it was a fantastic event, top to bottom.
Well, and good crowds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always that whole, let's say, the east side just fills up, and it's kind of neat to see all the teams, and they have the water bottles, they have their tents, and everybody kind of does pretty. And then you see all the buses come in, and it's pretty fantastic week.
Yeah, it was a massive week, and congratulations to all the champions for it. We had 5A boys was Cleveland, as we mentioned. 5A girls was Rio Rancho. For the 4A Academy swept. It was the first time they've swept since 2019. That 4A side, they're always trading with Los Alamos, because Los Alamos is just so good at track and field. And Los Alamos had a couple of big races, including, I believe, they won the 4x2 and 4x4, if I remember right. But Academy, the girls win it this year. Grace Aaronley, their sprinter, was unbelievable to watch. Grace, she won the 1 and 2, if I remember correctly, and then a big part of their relay teams as well. So Academy, big on that side. On the 3A side, St. Michael's sweep again. They've been sweeping every year since the COVID year we didn't have. 2A, the boys side, Manal, the Panthers, won their first state championship since before I was born. 1992 was their last state championship, so huge for the Panthers to be able to come in there. Legacy Academy girls, one of the newer teams. Melrose boys had a really tight one, 83 points to 80 over Logan. Logan, of course, are the defending state champions because of what Hayden Judd brought to that team. They just lose out to Melrose, so congrats to the Buffaloes. And then Logan girls, looking good and strong.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to Evergard Roof and Solar top 10 plays of the week, come back, and we're going to talk about the girls softball.
Three-two pitch. Called third. A beautiful breaking ball to the outside corner from Evans.
Now it's a left-handed pitcher versus left-handed batter. That one right down the middle. It'll beam across second and coming home for the Rams.
10th pitch of the at-bat. And it's well hit to right. Ledesma's on the run, and it'll be over his head. A 10-pitch at-bat turns into a double to the right field wall for Ethan Suina.
Expect a long baseball career for him after. Tried to reach from behind the bat to get there, and the Cougars now on the board for the first time today.
Here's 2-1. That's well hit through the hole in the left side. The windmill's on at third base. The wind's going to score standing, and it's an RBI double for McMullen as he took the extra bag.
right after the bunt is laid down. The Rams
Evans ready. And look at that. Beautiful pizza hitting. He just serves it in the left, right where it was pitched. And it's an RBI for Saavedra to drive in Schrader. Beautiful pizza, 2-strike hitting for Saavedra with the RBI. That is socked into right center. It's a gapper for Saavedra. At least 2 are going to score. The windmill's on at third base. It's a bases clearing double for Damon Saavedra. One, two. That's well hit into the gap. On its way is a towering 2-run homer for Everett Burdett. Runner stole second. That was Schrader. That ball is on its way! It's a birthday grand slam for Chase Squaller! Blow out the candles, young fella! He drives in all 4!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches take the fresh baked bread you love and turn up the heat to toasted perfection. Crispy and golden on the outside, melty and gooey on the inside. Order a toasted sandwich at Jimmy John's today.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Aaron Rivera here, and I tell you, softball. What a week of softball. I mean, and start with Las Cruces, Mayfield. I mean, I didn't get to see any games, but in the newspaper, it was like home run, home run, home run. It was a home run derby this week for them.
Well, and that's what Mayfield was, a team that had, I think, 4 players with 14 home runs. One of those 4 had 15 home runs in the regular season. And we talked about it on the seating and selection show that district from down south had 4 or 5 of the best teams in the state. And you get to see it because the number 10 seed, the Las Cruces Bulldogs, make it to the championship. I mean, how often do you get to see a 10 seed make the championship in any sport? Well, Las Cruces did, but that Mayfield team, unbelievable. First batter of the day, literally the first batter of the day, she works the count, pops it straight over the fence. Mayfield sets the tone, and it's like, we talked about what's the gap between the teams. Apparently the gap is 20-2 because that Mayfield team just so good.
No, it's pretty amazing how dominating they were. When you just and to me, usually you expect La Cueva or Cleveland or Rio Rancho, one of those teams to be right up there. And,
Volcano too.
And Volcano, and you're like, they weren't anywhere in sight this week.
No. Well, that's what the thing with softball this year was that Southern District, all of the teams were almost undefeated in out of district play. It was like 11-0 for Mayfield, 11-0 for Oregon Mountain, 11-0 for Centennial. I think Las Cruces lost 1 game or 2 games outside of the district. So this was the year the folks from down south in Las Cruces, this was the time when they were shining through. And the grand question is going to be, can they carry it over to next year? Is this going to be the start of just a Southern dynasty where that blue trophy's headed down south every time? Because like you say, we're used to seeing La Cueva up there, Volcano up there, Cleveland up there, the Metro teams. And then, we'll be talking about baseball later, but Piedra Vista girls softball has been pretty dominant for a long time as well. So, usually it's been kind of the folks in the north over the last few years, but the tide's changed, and it's down south seems so dominant.
You know, you go to the south and you think of the Field of Dreams, and I don't know if you've seen that softball complex or not.
I haven't, just the football field.
No, so basically it's similar, built similar to the community, the west side
Okay.
baseball. So basically it's in a circle, and you have softball fields all in. I think there's 4 softball fields all in one area.
So you can go see all the teams play at once. That'd be pretty sweet.
You know, so I actually got to, a good friend of mine, Gene Pino, asked me to go down and actually present trophies probably 10 or 15 years ago. And,
No kidding.
and I didn't think I'd like it, but then I got, the enthusiasm. Once you get there and you see the enthusiasm of all the players and the teams and everything, it was just really dynamic.
Oh yeah, and they have great tournaments down there, and that's where we get to see them just beat everybody outside of district. Is they brought everybody down. Everybody had a chance to play against these teams from down south, but it just didn't work out for them this year. So
Well, let's talk about some other teams.
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and the other team that we forgot to mention already, the Silver Colts, another one of those dominant teams, couldn't get there. But the other team from down south, or the team from down southeast, the Artesia Bulldogs, we've seen them have a couple of opportunities and not be able to get there into the championship. But this year they went, Aztec took them on, so it was a team from the top left of the state, bottom right of the state, taking each other on, and it's the only 2-game championship that we had. So the Aztec Tigers made it interesting. Game 1, they won 6-3, but the Artesia side, I mean, it's one of those, like when we talk about La Cueva football or Cleveland football or Artesia football, Artesia softball has that same championship.
It's just
pedigree.
all sports, no
Yeah,
matter
well-
what. Even their girls basketball. I mean, everything that they do, they take
Yeah.
a lot of pride in their high school sports.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things where we see the same athletes across everything. I mean, I remember she's not the track champion this year, but Hattie Harrison for Artesia, she played volleyball, she played basketball, and she was the best hurdler in the state for 4A back a couple of years ago, graduated last year. But, that Artesia side, they came in, and, it's always kind of difficult wondering whether or not after losing that first game, it's going to have a psychological effect on a team, right? Because you do, if you're the top seed, like Artesia were, you do kind of come in expecting to dominate, to put it away.
Well, you have a target on your back.
Yeah.
You have a target. One, you have a target on your back, and you're also expected. The blue trophy is the end result. No matter if you don't get that, sometimes your season might not be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you come out, you lose that first game 6-3. You generally pitch your best pitcher in that game, and so you're thinking, okay, well, what do we do for the second one? But big on them. They come through. They're able to win the second game 8-3 or 8-3. So congratulations to them. I mean, that's another great year, another trophy heading down to Artesia. So, I know they got the blue trophy for football this year. The boys basketball were in that one, but they got the red for that one. So they bring home another blue trophy for softball.
Well, very, 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 very impressive. Let's talk about our last West Las Vegas.
The Dons.
Richard Tripp. You always got to give him what he does for that school, and just brings excellence.
Yeah, brings excellence. The Dons. I mean, a close one too. It's we didn't have as many of these really tight games as we always do. It's a 2-1 championship game. West Las Vegas hadn't had a loss, so you got to beat them if you want to keep going. If you're Cobre, and a great year for Cobre. We talk about. I was just mentioning the Silver Colts. Cobre, their neighbors, another team that in both baseball and softball, they love having great teams, and they have great teams. But this year, West Las Vegas, I mean, they took care of business.
Well, I tell you what, great spring so far for basically, we just went through track, and also we went through girls softball. Now we're going to go this next segment. We're going to talk about the baseball, and that's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, lots of good games this year.
I'm Jason Garcia, local Albuquerque native, Sandia High School grad, and UNM economics grad in 2004. I'm the CEO and founder of
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Eagle Greens and Turf are a family-owned and operated business with over 25 years of experience in the home improvement industry. They are your exclusive dealer of celebrity green, synthetic putting greens, and artificial turf. They also have artificial turf that is specifically designed for your pets. Eagle Greens and Turf are proud sponsors of Pro V Networks and can make your lawn green all year long at 505-273-2744.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Basically, Shane and also
We had Gerard Pineda.
and Gerard,
was here with us.
and they were all concerned because of I even talked to you about how this might be one of any team could win. Okay, and when there wasn't all these teams to be seen to dominate. Okay, and then Carlsbad comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and
I mean, because they're and if you watch them, they were getting strong all year.
Yeah, and I've definitely got to eat my words on this one because during the bracket breakdown show, I said that top four of La Cueva, Cleveland, Piedra Vista, and Rio Rancho, they were a separate class from Carlsbad, and I've got to eat my words on that one. I'm 100% wrong because Carlsbad come in, the lower seed, and they.
Well, that's why they got fired up because you got that dartboard going, baby.
Yeah, bulletin board. Like, do you see what ProView said about you guys? But yeah, no, they come in with a huge win in the quarterfinals.
And you insult them because the South, it's all about those teams are up north. Okay, so there is a tradition down in Carlsbad.
Carlsbad, they're great at baseball, but so this year they have that big, and the way that baseball is with all of those games going on, at the Jennifer Riordan Spark Kindness Complex, all the games are going on at the same time. Yeah, we're watching, whether it's the West Las Vegas versus Sandia Prep game. That's the game I'm watching, but you can hear stuff going on in the background, like, what happened over on this field? And then you're trying to peek over, see what went down. So, I mean, just tons of great games all going on at once. There was huge upset on that side, on the 5A side. But, I mean, overall, I would say one of the better baseball years. We got to have all the championships at UNM this year, which was fantastic. Getting to see all the kids playing on that new field with the new box. Like, they've done so much work on those fields. And we didn't mention it during softball, but they also updated the softball field over at UNM. I already thought it was one of the better places to play softball probably in the country. I love the backdrop of that, but they've updated it. The stands are all brand new over for softball. For baseball, same thing. They've got.
I was going to mention that. I mean, it was more most of the time we don't have stands. Okay, we're sitting out, or somebody's sitting outside in the hot sun. So.
Yeah, no, for softball, they've got the brand new facilities there at UNM, just looks fantastic. For softball, they've got chairbacks and stuff now. It used to be bleachers. It was really gorgeous across the board, and for UNM,
And UNM had a good year too. So
yeah.
what a great year too.
Yeah, and so maybe we might see some of these kids next couple of years playing for UNM. There's some New Mexico kids on that UNM side, but it all started with those single A boys, Brady and Gateway Christian. We know those games tend to be high scoring. Another high scoring year, 18-14. with the Bronchos.
18-12.
18-12, pardon me. Yeah. Taking that one. So, congrats to Grady. Big way to start the championship season. They're the first ones to get a blue trophy out of everybody.
Well, I tell you, you think about those smaller schools and then also the crowds. I mean, it just seems like they just get, by the championship game, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, not the 5A game, I shouldn't say that, but by the 5A game, it just seems to just grow and grow. People stay around and watch it's baseball day.
Yeah, and I mean, the way that the communities are, because a lot of these kids play club ball together and everything, they're trying to watch their friends. The folks from Gateway Christian might be wanting to see the kids from Mesilla Valley because Roswell and Las Cruces probably play each other a lot on the club ball level. So, everybody getting a chance to see each other. I thought it looked like it was a lot of fun to be there over at the baseball stadiums.
Well, it looks like Mesa Valley they win and move on. Let's talk about East Mountain a little bit. So.
Yeah, East Mountain, one of the most dominant seasons anybody's had. They're in the 3A. They did play some teams. Their only loss on the season came to the Rio Grande Ravens, and you could just tell that Coach Moya's team was, just built for it. They had about 4 different pitchers. They had a lot of depth. Beyond just those 4 starting guys. They had a ton of depth, and it seemed in the games I got to see, which were the quarterfinal and the semifinal, live, their batters just knew how to step up and put hits together. That's the big thing that you talk about when it's the modern game of baseball, how prevalent the home run is as the main tool. Well, at the high school level, it's still about you got to get a guy on base, and then the guys behind him have to be able to hit the ball or get a walk or do something along those lines. And East Mountain's a team that they can just string hits together. They can, guy gets a walk, then the next guy puts it into the outfield. That guy's now on third. East Mountain, just such a strong season, a historic season for the East Mountain Timberwolves. They come finish it up 10-0 against St. Michael's, who also, with St. Michael's, they hadn't won a playoff game after the first round since something like 2017 or 2018 is what Will Weber was telling us during the broadcast. Like, for them, this is a big year for them because they do get to the final. Yeah, you don't get the blue trophy, but that's not necessarily always the most important thing, right? Getting that playoff win, kind of establishing a little bit of that winning culture.
Then we have to move on to Goddard and Artesia, 2 teams that have been playing all year long, and you kind of Artesia, the defending champion, coming in. Goddard kind of come. You would think that there might be an upset. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, I remember back at the Sal Puentes, talking to a few of the coaches, and they said Goddard might be the best team in 4A. They're right there with Artesia. They've got great pitching, guys like Cam Brown. Congrats to them. You had to beat the team that you've played all year, and you did it.
And then we got to get to, Pedro Vista and Cleveland. What a year for Pedro Vista. Corrali, what a history, he has in New Mexico, played for La Cueva, has, played pro baseball, and out of they peaked at the right time.
They really did, and that district has been so dominant all year. Piedra Vista, Rio Rancho, Cleveland, and at the end of it, Piedra Vista plays Cleveland again. They've played twice already, and the Panthers just had a day. 10-0 is not easy to do.
Yeah, and then that district, you think about it, they were all in the top 4, and three of their teams were in the top 4 this year, and that's how they were rated all year, 1, 2, and 3, depending on the time of the year. I tell you what, Aaron, hey, thanks for coming on, and hey, thanks for doing all the things that you do for Pro View Networks.
It's all for the kids. It's lots of fun to do.
Thank you.